Well, I can tell you off the rip, it's mostly due to the fact that I don't spend on things that I don't necessarily need. I know it's difficult and it requires a lot of discipline, but the more you do it, the more you get accustomed to it. You also need to automate a lot of the things you would normally think about. That's why you have places like Amazon. If you notice, when it comes time to check out, they make it super easy for you to check out. So you don't necessarily have time to think about the purchase. So there's also other things like the money that I would invest or like pay for something that would just sit in my room and I would just use once. I buy things like stocks of the company that I just bought the product for. And then that money allow me to get more money to buy more things or if I so choose to reinvest it. So it's not hard. It just requires a lot of discipline and some people don't necessarily have that. Not that you need to be 100% perfect. You just need to have something aside, at least an emergency fund for. But I'm telling you, bro, an emergency fund is it comes in so handy. It's actually ridiculous how handy it comes in because, like, let's say you break, like, your car breaks down and you need to fix it, emergency fund. You lost your job, and you need to pay rent, emergency fund. It's so nice to just have a backup. And that's it. You don't necessarily need a lot of things. It's just that live below what you actually need. I'm not saying you need to be poor, but like if you live in excess, you're gonna pay more. And because you pay more, you're gonna have to work more, exchanging your time, which is the more valuable thing that you possess in for actual salary. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If you like doing that, do your thing. But it's not necessarily hard or like impossible to imagine that you could live below what you actually need. Okay, talk to me. Hmm. Oh yeah, this was when the student loans were paused, and a lot of people didn't really take advantage of it because I think when Biden paused it, or the whole reason why Biden got into office was because he wanted to like do loan forgiveness. So people were like really praying on that they were gonna get loan forgiveness, and loan forgiveness is another thing. I believe personally that any degree that requires other people to go through it and it provides an essential service. I'm talking nurses, doctors, engineers, and stuff like that. Those people should have some form of like deduction in the amount that they need to pay. I don't see why nurses and doctors who are like essential for the functioning of society need to pay like a stupid amount of debt or like go into debt for that much. Maybe it's because the payoff is worth it, but like I feel like there shouldn't be that much barrier to entry. I don't think they should need to go into that amount of debt in order to provide a service like being a damn doctor. But that's just me. Yeah. And I feel like certain loans should be forgiven or like not necessarily forgiven, but like have some form of deduction. Let's just say not fine arts. You knew what you were doing. You don't. You did. You knew that fine arts wasn't gonna pay no damn bill. You knew that. Hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the sad part is that the people who went into debt, that's something that a lot of people talk about or they do, but the people who went to get an education for a degree that is actually useful and they can't necessarily pay it off. Maybe it's because they're actually living above their means and they think they're actually living below their means when they're actually living above it. I don't know. But the sad reality is that a lot of people will be paying this for the rest of their lives. They can't actually have that life that they would actually want when they were told to go get these degrees by their parents who don't necessarily know 100% of what could happen to their kid because they went and got a degree, took out a loan and got a degree. So that's pretty sad, and I feel for people who are like in that situation. They're basically crippled because they can't necessarily do anything, and yeah, bro, can't really do anything. Hmm. Happy Wednesday. But yeah, she has some points. Like the economy is completely garbage. Apparently, I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't know every single detail, but I've been hearing a lot about the fact that the economy, people can't get jobs. People are being fired from jobs. That could be the fact that a lot of the jobs that are people are getting let go from have been replaced by AI. Like some of the companies, which is weird, by the way, the jobs, like these companies who are doing the layoffs, they always say that they have to do cutbacks, but they're reporting record profits. I don't know how that makes any sense, but them making more money and reducing costs is just very common for businesses. But like her, I get it to some degree. She seems like she has a lot of responsibilities. She may mention like diapers and like a house and then student loans. That's a lot of things. So hopefully, her and her partner can like work something out where she can get out of this garbage that is called debt. Something that is quite literally an anchor on your feet that prevents you from upward mobility, doing the things that you would actually want to do instead of like paying somebody money, interest for the rest of your life. That's basically it.